Okay, hello everyone. So today we have a new video, and that is going to be our specking and respecking our pets. Sorry, as always, I have one monitor, and I'm switching back and forth between all my tabs. Okay, so y'all can see I have both of my pets summoned, and that is going to be my Ethereal Pixie and my Crystal Golem right here and right here. Now, I can open up the, by pressing E, I can open up my skills page for my selected creature, my Pixie, and I can see all of the active skills that have already been purchased, and I can see all of the passive skills that have been purchased. Now, again, as I've mentioned before, you purchase skills using job points, and your pets get 1 job point every level. Most skills, but sometimes when you get to the higher levels of them, or the more advanced skills, sometimes there will be 2. I've already purchased like everything here. um, they'll cost like 2 job points for a skill. So you save up your job points and you purchase what you want on your pet. Now there's going to be some passives and some stuff that will go for every pet, like this strength, this agility, this vitality is not specific to the Pixie. You can see that that is also here on the Golem as well. Now, what happens is you unlock your pet's abilities when they level up, like every 5 levels to 10 levels, they get like a new ability. And what happens when you purchase the abilities and you decide that you purchased a wrong ability, you don't want one of the abilities that you purchased. Well, that is when you have to get an item, which is this item, the Creature Respecialization Potion. What this is going to do is it's going to basically undo every skill that you've purchased. It's going to give you back all the job points that you've spent, and then you can go ahead and respend and repurchase all of those job points, all of those skills using your job points. Now, both my Pixie and my Crystal Golem, I just purchased from other players who had already tamed them, staged them, leveled them up. At the time, I had the in-game gold to be able to afford that, and it is way easier than doing it yourself. It takes a long time to do it yourself, and I needed these pets so that I would be able to farm some of the higher level stuff and actually have a way to be able to make more money. So I purchased these. They were already spec'd. I mean, they're spec'd kind of okay, but there's definitely a few things I would question where I'm like, hey, you know, if I really want to min-max this, I could just respec it and then I could do it myself instead of purchasing perhaps like the active skill for creating a potion, which is honestly kind of worthless on these 2 pets. That'll give me a couple points back, as well as like the strength on here, and the fact that intelligence wasn't purchased on the Golem, which I would like for it to be. Anyways, so I'm going to go ahead now and we're going to respec the pets one by one. I'm going to kind of go through, I don't already have everything planned out, see what I like and spec these pets myself. So we're going to click on Twilight and we're going to double click. And do I really want to use this item? Yes, I do. And you can see that all of the abilities I had from that pet on my skill bar are now gone. And now when I open up the skills, I have 330 job points available, which, by the way, this is a stage 5. Both of my pets are stage 5. Every stage that you go up on a pet, they start out with more job points, and when they're over leveling, so from level 50 to 60, and from level 90 to 115, they get extra job points per level for those levels. So if this were like a stage 0 pet or a stage 1 pet at level 190, it would have way less than 330 job points. So staging them helps you be able to purchase more skills and everything. But all of that having been said, We're going to go through now, and I'm going to respec my Pixie, then we're going to respec our Crystal Golem. And just to make sure, I'm going to go ahead. Good. And then everything went through for that, so now my Crystal Golem doesn't have any skills, anything special about him either. Okay. I want to go ahead and start out with the passives and then move on to the actives. So my does not need strength, but yes, it definitely needs all of the intelligence. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to buy the intelligence. Okay. Agility is kind of nice, but we'll see if we have any left over for that later. Vitality, same thing. We definitely want to max the MP. So I'm just going to explain this, by the way, as we go. Intelligence basically is going to be your magic damage, and since the Pixie is a magic damage creature that does some healing, it's very good. It's like its most important stat. Max MP is going to be, obviously it has to use its MP to be able to use its active abilities, so the more MP it has, the more abilities it can use without running out of its MP. And also because my class is Master Breeder, the more MP that my creature has, it also converts back into magic damage as well, which then stacks on top of my golem, which gives my golem extra magic damage, which the golem has a special passive that when creatures attack it, they take damage over time based on his intelligence and his magic damage. So it makes him, he's very tanky, he's the best tank in the game. And then you stack a ton of magic damage on him, so creatures basically just attack him, they deal no damage to him, and then they take so much damage from his passive they die. It is insanity, and that's what we are going for here today. Okay, MP recovery is nice. Again, I need, but like I'm gonna see how much JP I have after I get like the bare essentials. I definitely need this and Mage Wall. The card ability is only if you want to be able to equip it to your belt to give you stats passively, but then you couldn't summon it and use it. Since this is a creature that's going to be actively summoned, the belt passive is worthless. Yes, I definitely want Transcended Attack. Extra damage. I want go ahead and max this out. Okay. And the defense stuff is good. Those stuff are okay. And this one allows you to equip items to your creature and gain stats from them. You have to have that on every pet that you're going to have summoned. That's just a rule. Okay, passive stats. Intelligence, wisdom. Yeah, you want that. That helps its healing, and that helps its magic damage. And this creature specializes in healing and magic damage. Okay, allows you to equip a weapon to your pet to make it even that much more better. Okay, again, this increases all of the skills that you need. Okay, so I'm down to 208 JP. I've bought all of the bare minimum passives that I need, which to be fair, I really need more than what I have. But we're going to go ahead and start buying our active skills. We're going to go ahead and max out pretty much all of these actives. So first one I want is your Unity. It's like your most important one. Shadow Illusion is required. Otherwise your Pixie is going to be stealing all of the aggro from your tank. What this does is this decreases its threat level, so monsters are less likely to attack it. Purifying Flames, that is your main heal, you want that. Phoenix Embrace is an AoE, like party heal, you need that. Dark Tide, Aqua Barrage. Yeah, these are fine attacks. Just get them all. Okay, we're going to continue to just level up what I've already purchased. Okay, now, these two will definitely Shadow Illusion before I talk about the other one. So this encouragement, I'll hold off on for now. I know they're really popular to get, but basically has a cooldown of 5 minutes, and it gives your Pixie and your group that you're with increased intelligence and wisdom for like 21 seconds. So if you're trying to kill like a boss or something, you can pop the encouragement and get like increased stats for a little bit to make it go better. It's nice, but because of its higher cooldown time and it only lasts for a little bit, I'm just gonna hold off on it for right now. Probably come back and get it. That's the mid. Okay. Oh, and I've also mentioned in like almost every video that I did that I've done about how pets will go with different classes. So the Pixie has okay. So at level 45, you get a skill called Unity. Unity is an active skill. It just kind of you activate it and it keeps constantly draining the MP of your pet. And as long as your pet has the MP and MP recovery to be able to sustain it, it will just passively increase your stats. Now, this Pixie has one that gives you increased intelligence and wisdom, magic attack, and MP recovery. So it increases its stats and it increases your stats. So if you're dealing magic damage, if you are a healer, then this is a good pet for you. If you're like a tank and if you are doing physical damage, then it's really not that great for you. Now, the Crystal Golem, on the other hand, is tanky. Its Unity is going to give defensive stats, so it's going to be better for more tanky classes, but less good for damage dealing classes that really need to just max out their damage. But yeah, this is kind of a very brief explanation of what Unity is and like why it's one of the most important skills on any pet. Okay, this is another one of those that kind of like just passively increases the stats while it's active. So Creature Potion, I have this one on the last one. Basically what it does is you have to buy an item called a bottle, and then when you use this ability, it puts a potion in the bottle, you drink it, and it increases your stats temporarily for like 30 minutes to an hour, something like that, based on what kind of potion it is. But this one only has a 1 hour cooldown, and I think it works for like 30 minutes. I know some people really love these potions, but you can usually just buy them from other players, and there's honestly only certain potions that people even use, because a potion from like one pet, you can probably find a better version of that from one of the other better pets. It's okay, but I'm using this thing for combat, so I care more about its combat skills than I care about its utility to make a potion that probably no one will even buy and that I won't even use. So I'm just skipping out on it, saving some JP there. Okay. Now, normally you wouldn't care about putting Vitality on your Pixie, especially when you're going to be running Shadow Illusion on it, because it's not going to get attacked, therefore it doesn't need a lot of health. But because I'm a Master Breeder, the more MP it has, the more magic attack it gives itself and my secondary pet, but the more health it has, the more max health it has, the more physical attack it gets and my other creature gets, which means that it helps increase the damage of both pets by putting it on there. Usually you would go for agility to give it evasion, so if anything attacks it, it'll just dodge it and not take any damage because it dodged. So instead I'm going to go Vitality just because of my Master Breeder passive. Okay, I still have 57. JP I can spend. So I definitely want to do the Bless the Body, the max HP. And again, you normally would not do this on a magic damage pet. It's literally only because of the class that I am in the passive, and I'm trying to min-max my stats, which means I really only care about one thing in this game, and I will show you that real quick. I care about Pain, this thing. So basically, the more damage that I can get put onto this, and the more damage I can give my tank, I'm gonna be able to just go into like dungeons and kill like the hardest level bosses and everything. Basically, just look at them and they're gonna die. If y'all have seen my jewel farming videos, that's what I did for some of those bosses, just using the nukes and everything. But I intend on min-maxing my skills to make my pets even stronger. Feel like I should get MP recovery also, because of all the skills and stuff I'm gonna have on it. And honestly, I have the. Well, actually, these are free. When you stage them up, certain of your abilities will actually be cost nothing, so it doesn't even cost me anything to go ahead and get this. So yeah, let me see what else is actually 0 while I'm at it, and just go ahead and. Cost me nothing for it. Of course, I'm gonna buy it. Yeah, I'll go ahead and get the Endgame's Blessing. I have the JP for it. Magical accuracy. Let me see if that actually shows in mine, like what that does. Yeah, so interestingly enough, when you're on your pets and you hover over it, like it doesn't tell you what each of this stuff does, but when you are on your main stats for your character, you can see like every 1 point of strength gives you 2.8 physical attack and gives you 10 max weight. Intelligence gives you magic attack and max MP. Dexterity gives ranged physical attack and gives ranged accuracy, which you need wisdom for magical accuracy. I'm going to go ahead and get the accuracy because we don't want all of our abilities to be missing, all of our attacks to be missing when we're trying to hit monsters that are way higher level than us to be able to farm them and level up and all that fun stuff. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get the encouragement because honestly it is really nice. It's just one of those really situational things where, hey, I'm trying to kill the boss right now. Okay, and I got 27 extra that I get to spend after I got the stuff that I wanted. Let's get a little bit of dexterity. Actually, wisdom, I said gives accuracy and MP recovery. Vitality, intelligence, yeah, but I can't get anything else for... Okay, now I have 0 JP. So my pet's only level 190. Creatures can go up to like level 210 and players can go up to like level 230. So I'll definitely get enough JP later on to be able to finish buying off the Wisdom and Transcendent Defense. But now my Pixie more or less has the best possible skilling that it can, for my purposes anyway. And now we are going to go ahead and spec the Crystal Golem. Best tank in the game right here. This guy, I mean, honestly, just... that is like what nightmares are made of. Those like soulless eyes. I swear that's like blood that he's using for decoration. Okay. So same thing I did with the Pixie. I want to go through and I want to focus on the passives that I want first before I worry about all of the actives, which, gosh, this Golem has way too many passives I need. Okay, so first one, honestly, as important as intelligence is for my purposes, overall, it's not one of the best for the Golem. I'm going to leave intelligence out for right now. I definitely know that I need strength, so let's go ahead and max out strength. Definitely vitality, which gives you max HP and HP regen. These are free, so again, I'm going to buy them because they're free. And and you always want to get the ones that allow you to equip items to your pets to make them stronger. That's just, you have to. Okay, definitely want the strength. Definitely, again, have to have vitality. And here we have the best passive in the game as far as I'm concerned, Peridot Pain. By the way, once I have everything bought, I'll show y'all unbuffed the damage it does with all the in-game buffs and stuff that you get before you go out farming. It just multiplies it. Yeah, you definitely have to have that. Again, we're not using the card ability because we're not going to be equipping him to my belt. Crit rate, definitely. Using your skills to creatures with a chance to inflict debuff, stacks up to 25 times with a 32% chance. Actually, it's pretty good, but we will hold off on it for right now. Using your... Definitely. Definitely. Increases P attack by M attack, increases... Yeah, we definitely want that. These are just all the ones that make it, like, incredibly tanky. Okay, now we're gonna go to the actives that I want. Unity, again, very good. Now, one note, because I am a pet class, I get to have 2 pets. Most players only get to have 1 pet out, but pet classes get to have 2 pets out permanently, and then based on their pet class, they have different things to buff their pets and play the game a little bit differently. Now, even as a pet class, I can only be affected by 1 unity at a time. Now, you notice I purchased the unity on my Ethereal Pixie and on my Crystal Golem. I can have both of them active at the same time, and they will both only be affected by their own unity, which means that the Ethereal Pixie will only get the Pixie unity, Crystal Golem will only get the Crystal Golem unity, but I will only be able to receive one of the 2 unities, meaning that one of the unities will only buff the pet, while the other one will buff both me and the pet. Now, the way it was supposed to work is that whichever one you use first is the one that applies to you. But there is a bug in the game where if you have 2 unities going and they're both the same level, it'll kind of constantly switch between back and forth. So if I had both the Pixie and the Crystal Golem unity at the same level, then I would get like the Pixie one first, and I would lose the Pixie one, then I'd get the Crystal Golem one, then I'd lose the Crystal Golem one, and get the Pixie, and it would just keep going in that order over and over and over and over. Now, because my passive stats actually increase my creature's passive stats as well, I do not want that. I want the Ethereal Pixie unity to always be on me because that increases my intelligence. My intelligence increases the magic attack damage of both of my pets, which makes the Peridot damage that I care about do a lot more damage, and makes my Pixie overall do a whole lot more damage. So the only way that I avoid this from happening is basically I'm not going to buy the final level of my Crystal Golem unity. I just leave it 1 level under. and since it will be the lower level, it won't try to override the other buff. Because when you are buffed in a game, if you try to override that buff with the same buff, but it's like a lower level, and it has like a lower enchantment level as well, so like it's a, let's say that you have a level 5 buff with like a plus 10 skill card, and you have that buff on you, and someone tries to buff you and they're like level 5 with a plus 0 skill card, it's not going to override and it's not going to refresh your buff, it's just going to fail. Now, if they had a higher level and higher enchantment skill card, basically if they had a better buff, then it would overwrite that buff with their buff. But when you have two of the same level, it kind of competes like that, which is why that bug happens. Now you'll notice that I only purchased 5 levels of my Unity, but it says level 6 right there. Let me show you real quick. Oh, yeah. Sorry, creature formation. So, as you can see, aside from this right here, I have full items and stuff on my pets from the stuff that I bought. Allows me to equip all this stuff and increase their stats. One of the items that you can get is a special belt. You put it on your pets and increases mostly all of their skills by 1 level. So that means that when I'm buying a level 1 skill for my pet, I'm actually starting out at level 2 of it, and when I end at level 15 of this skill, I'm actually getting level 16 of this skill. Now, the Unity can go up to like level 21, I believe, with the extra skill, which is why, yeah, level 21. So I only need up to level 20 on my Crystal Golem. Anyways, just kind of going off on random tangents here. Let's go ahead and buy all of our attacks. And we definitely need Threatening Essence. This one will increase the threat on my pet so that this will be more likely to draw the aggros and keep the aggros, and they will be less likely to attack my pixie and kill my pixie, and they will be less likely to attack and kill me, most importantly. I love my pixie, but I care about myself, you know, just a little teeny tiny bit more. If I die, then they go away anyway. They get despawned into oblivion until I'm alive again. So it's in their best interest to keep me alive. And yeah, you'll see this golem actually gets a lot of skills. Uses a lot of attacks, does good enough damage to be able to keep all the aggro. Yeah, I definitely want this one. And again, I'll kind of hold off on the encouragement for right now. Strength and Vitality, that one gives some defensive stats, which are really good, but how often am I going to use it? So again, I'm just not going to buy the final one. Again, the potions are kind of worthless. I'm not going to clutter those. Okay, now we're about to get into these are abilities that, well, these two are abilities that will increase the pet's defensive stats by a lot, but will reduce its attack damage. But these make this thing like impossible to kill. So you definitely want to have them, since its main job is going to be to tank and the passive magic damage over its actual damage that it's really dealing with its attacks and everything else. Honestly, as a standalone pet, this is kind of nice because it has a group heal, but considering that my pixie already has 4 heals, having 5 heals, honestly is a bit much. I don't know, I'll see if I have JP left over at the end. but I think it's a little bit overkill. Because my Pixie is effectively the damage and heal slave. I really don't need my main tank to be worrying about having to heal the party. Okay. Now I have 138 JP left, and I have purchased all of the active skills that I really need to. I've purchased all of the passive skills I really need to. There's still some more that would be really good. My Crystal Golem is level 200. That's 10 levels higher than the Pixie. Okay, let's go ahead. And I really want to get the intelligence for him, only because of the Peridot Pain. Because I'm Master Breeder and I'm stacking him with the Ethereal Pixie. That is like literally the only reason you would do this. If you are using it, the Crystal Golem is a solo pet, and if you were using him mainly because you're a tank or a physical damage dealer, you would not be doing this. It would be a really stupid idea. But, oh, I never got the Transcendent Attack. You always want to get the Transcendent Attack. Even on a tank, you want to get the attack. That's like your most basic. Your tank deals no damage, it's not going to be even the aggro very easily. Even with the aggro, increase your skill. Now let's look at the defensive one. Yes. Vitality and P-Death. Also on the Golem equate to extra damage as well. So you are getting effectively a 3-for-1, 4-for-1. Defense in 2 ways and damage in 2 ways. All in the same skill. I like it. And yeah, we want to go ahead and get the accuracy because we don't want our pet to be missing all of the stupid attacks it tries to do. Oh, so on this one, so basically what this skill does, I've been kind of avoiding it for right now, ignoring it and putting it off. When using your creature, skill has the chance to inflict a debuff, which can stack up to 25 times, and each stack will give the mob that you're attacking minus 1% physical attack. So at most, you can give it up to minus 25% of its physical attack, which is actually pretty nice. It'll reduce its the damage that it's dealing to your pet, but when your pet's already like tanky AF enough, it's not going to make too much of a difference, and it also isn't going to do much against any skills that they use, any magic damage, which unfortunately a lot of the dungeon bosses and a lot of harder stuff like that are going to be using a lot of magic damage, damage over time, debuffs, stuff like that, more so than their physical damage. The physical damage is going to be for like their basic just like auto hits in between their abilities, so like it's kind of nice, but maybe not the nicest thing in the world. That's why I'm like, I'm not against buying it, but I'm just trying to see if there's anything else that I could justify would be better. But I mean, really, I don't need agility. Agility is evasion, which this thing isn't going to have a high enough evasion for any more evasion to really be incredibly worth it. It's going to focus more on block and defense. Dexterity is going to be for ranged pets, to give them ranged accuracy and ranged damage. He's melee, he doesn't need that. Wisdom is going to be for like magical accuracy, and MP recovery, which MP recovery could be nice, but he already has the other passes for MP recovery. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and get this one because, like, I have the JP and probably the best thing I could spend it on at the moment. I'm also going to go ahead and The encouragement, again, 5-minute cooldown, lasts like 21 seconds, but it will increase your defensive stats by like a ton. Just because I have the extra JP, I'm going to go ahead and purchase this heal and just have the extra heal. Because honestly, why not? And yeah, honestly, I have 18 JP left over, and I don't... Only staged pets get these two abilities, the Strength of Order and Strength and Resistance from Chaos, and basically there's different monster types in the game. There's different like pet types in the game. There's like human, there's like beast, there's like bird, there's mammal, there's demon, there's like undead, mecha. And what these do is they'll say damage increased when attacking undead, devil, and mecha. So if I happen to be attacking a devil, an undead, or a mecha type monster, then I will do increased damage to them. And on the other one, the resistance, it'll say that the undead, mecha, and devil do reduced damage to you, which is, you know, kind of nice, but when you're out farming areas that don't have those kind of mobs, it's really a wasted skill, but they're all kind of randomized. You'll have all types of those monsters at like all levels of play. So, I mean, it's one of those, like, it's kind of nice to have sometimes, and other times it's kind of a waste, but I have 18 JP left over. Now, again, my pet can get to level 210. I don't know after level 200 if it gains any more skills. It might. You know what? But I think that's only 10 JP total. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it gives like 35% increased damage, 35% reduced damage. It's kind of okay. Okay, I'm gonna save the 8 JP left over. And it's spec'd kind of similarly to how it was before. I saved JP on both of them by not buying the potions. I also saved JP on this one by not buying the final level of Unity, because I had the final level of Unity and then I just didn't use it, so that was an extra JP I saved. And they also had a couple of useless skills on them. The Pixie had Strength, which is going to be for like melee creatures, and it's not even melee, and it had points used in Strength. I think this one might have had some points used in Agility, which is just kind of useless, because Agility is mainly going to be on your squishy characters, like your Dark Magicians and stuff like that. It's going to be on like the magic damage dealing pets, since they're not going to be expected to be tanky. They'll naturally have higher evasion, so that they will dodge attacks more often. But unless you have like an absurd amount of evasion, then it's not going to actually kick in enough for it to truly be worth it, unless there's a high level difference. If you're using, you know, an average level like 150 pet or something to kill mobs that are like average level like 100 or something, and you have high evasion, then yeah, they'll never land like a single hit, but level difference honestly makes a way higher difference in evasion than the actual passive stat does. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, I just kind of wanted to show y'all what it looked like to actually purchase points on your pets, because I've talked about pets, I've told you how, hey, these are the most crucial part of the game, and I've never showed you actually buying their skills, and re-specking pets is the thing. Now, both of these pets fall into the classic pet system. These are newer pets in the game. They've been out for a little bit, but they were the newest pets added to the game, with what they called Project 7, with like the Wind Pixie, the Ethereal Pixie, Hector and the Crystal Golem, and the Forest Pixie and the Death Gladiator. So they're pretty straightforward. Every Crystal Golem, any other Crystal Golem level 200 S5 is going to have the exact same amount of JP, is going to have the exact same abilities that do the exact same thing, and it's just a matter of buying what you want. Soul pets would be different. Each of their skills would be random based on a pool of skills that they could possibly get, based on their race and based on their job, whether they are assigned a tank, a healer, a physical damage dealer, a ranged damage dealer, a magic damage dealer, whether they're an undead, whether they're a mecha, whether they're a human, whether they're a devil, like whatever they are. And in that case, when you respec everything, it gets rid of everything so that you can possibly get different skills than you had the last time, making it way more RNG-like. And they have a special process for being able to perfect them. So let's say that you know for every skill slot exactly what skill you want. There is a way in the game to be able to do that, but it does require two potions. One of them allows you to select skills to keep when you respec them so that they won't be re-rolled. So once you already have the skill, you can keep it and re-roll the ones you don't want. And then the other one is a respec potion that allows you to re-roll all of the potions. But those will be different potions than the one I use. They will specify for soul creatures only. I'll have to make a video on, honestly, I don't even use soul pets anymore. I know they used to be the biggest thing in the game, and they're still pretty popular, but like the Project 7 pets are so much better than the soul pets that people who can afford to use them and level them up and get good gear on them will typically ditch the soul pets, but there's still some soul pets out there that are still actually pretty worth having and are pretty good when you need to have a cheaper option than this stuff that I'm using. But I'll probably make a video on soul pets. I'll probably get a soul pet and play around with it and level it up, and then I'll show y'all me respecking the pet and specking the pet and how you can get different abilities each time and all that fun stuff. Y'all can see I'm in a different deco now. What's cool about this, I'll just kind of show y'all. I'll make another video on that. Hello, how are you? Glad to see that you've joined us. As I was saying, different deco sets will give you different like stats and things like that. What's cool about this one, because most deco sets will give you like plus 1% max HP, plus 1% max MP, plus 1% magic attack, plus 1%, you know, strength, physical attack. These, instead of just doing flat 1% everything, you have to use some items to unlock their stats, and it's kind of randomized, but there's a list of stats, and the minimum of that stat you can get, and the maximum of that stat you can get. So, I went for this instead. Really, the idea was to get as much critical power as I possibly could to put on my pets, so that they'll be, getting crits all the time and doing like 4 or 5 times their normal damage when they do each hit. But all of my stuff is still a work in progress. I'm nowhere near perfect. Nowhere near having everything exactly how it should be. But it's just farming, getting some money, slowly improving stuff over time. And that is how it works. But I will say, I do think that the Rudolph set looks pretty cool. Apparently when you put them, what's actually really cool about the deco stuff in this game is when you put them on, like right now my character is male, if I put it on a female character, it would actually look completely different, like a brown cow kind of thing almost. How to increase your WT this much without buffs? Are you talking about weight? Like how much items you can carry? If that's what you're talking about, then there are a couple different ways. One is going to be your bag, right here. You start out with like the trainee bag, which only gives you like what 500 maximum weight or something like that. And then as you kill progressively higher level monsters, you'll find better bags that will give you more. And then this yak skin bag is actually the best bag in the game. Gives you a maximum of 10,000 weight. So you can see my weight over here is like 35,000. That's because I have some other stuff going on as well. But it gives you a base of 10,000. Now the yak skin bag, you actually have to have a quilted bag, I believe, or a large quilted bag. And then you have to use an item like a sewing needle on it and it has a chance of becoming a yak skin bag and upgrading. It also has a chance of failing and you lose the bag and the item that you use to upgrade it, because everything in this game when it comes to upgrade is RNG based. And again, you can always save up and buy it from someone. I think I bought this a couple years ago for like 1 bill or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if they've dropped in price over time. A lot of stuff tends to drop in price over time. Now, another thing that will increase your maximum weight is going to be one of your basic stats, and that is your strength. For every 1 point of strength, you get 10 carrying capacity or 10 maximum weight. So if you increase your strength, you also increase how much weight you can carry. Strength can easily be increased by either having, trying to see if I have, well, a couple ways. If, where it says random effects and awakened bonuses on here, these are just like extra things that you can put on your weapons, on your armor, on your deco, things like that. You use items and it randomly rolls what stats you get. You could get strength on these. That would give you that. But if you look down at the bottom, you'll see there's 2 little slots that have 2 little stones. One says INT plus 39. The other one is like accuracy and all that stuff. Those are known as soul stones. And soul stones can be found in the game. You can also combine soul stones to make better versions of them, and there are also cash shop soul stones, which give more stats than all the others. You can put these soul stones into all of your armor, all of your equipment, things like that, to increase your abilities. Like this one has strength plus 45 on my helmet, so I get 45 points of strength on that. And also, there are also like item and armor sets in the game. Now you'll see I have what's called Newsy Lights armor. And you'll see I have the helmet, I have the armor, I have the gloves, and I have the boots. That is all of your armor right there. Because I have that set, all of this stuff in purple at the top where it says Doubledom set, strength, vitality, agility, dexterity, intelligence, wisdom, P-attack, M-attack, I get plus 15% to all of that for having the complete set. And as you get increasingly better sets in the game, you'll get progressively better stats. There's actually also, it's really only for people level 200 plus, and it's like one of their newest dungeons they added back in January. Well, they revamped the dungeon back in January to change it and how it works. But there is actually a deco set you can get that's called the Lava Deco set that is like all red. Also has some really cool like red wings. And if you have the full set, then it gives you like massive amounts to all of your stats, on top of the fact that they can be awakened to give you additional stats. Finally, I have talked about belt pets all the time. So you have a belt, and it'll start out with like only 1 slot open. You have to increase the amount of slots up to 8. Again, by using an item, and again, if it fails, you can lose the belt. But 8 slot belt, and any creature that has the belt ability on it, like the one that I didn't buy for the creatures I was specking, you can put it on your belt. And when you do, it will give you an increase of certain stats. So you could use belt pets that have increased to strength in order to increase your strength as well. You also have what are called boss cards. I think I've barely mentioned them before, that have different effects on them. Mine don't give me strength. These help increase my passives that give my pets even better damage, but you could also use these boss cards to give you extra strength for carrying capacity as well. And if you go down to collections, I only have 1 collection right now, and it's not giving me strength, but basically if you get enough of the same boss card, so let's say if I had numerous of the Devil Slaughter boss card, it's on the official Discord for Rappelz. If you just type in Rappelz Discord to Google, you'll find like 2 or 3 links to it. There's only 1 server. It'll take you to it. There is a guide that will show you how many of each card you need to make the set, but the set will passively increase your stats permanently, and they don't have to be equipped to anything. But you can only get 1 of each set, each collection. And the way you do that, I will actually go ahead and show you. You have to go to an NPC, which is going to be the Black Market and Estrade family, I think is what they're called. for the loading screen. Oh, hey, he's right in front of me. Perfect. So you go here, and they have multiple options, and you see there's the exchange collection. You have the normal, rare, special, and unique collections, because there are 4 different levels of rarity of the boss cards. So let's say that you have one of the normals, you would go in and you'd say, okay, for the Baron Madius collection, you need 10 Baron Madius cards. For each of the normal, you need 10 versions of that card. For the rare, you'll need 7 versions of the card. So if I wanted the Lady Rowena collection, I would need 7 of that card. And again, on the official Discord, there are guides on there. One of them shows you what every boss card in the game does. It shows you what all the collections do, and it shows you how many cards you need for each collection. So one thing that I will eventually get to doing is I will be making every single collection on here. And I already have the Devil Slaughter collection. You can only get 1 of each collection. It's just an extra thing that you can go to. They keep adding new content, more stuff that you can collect, more stuff that you can do. Oh yeah, another way, which I currently don't have, but you have your loot pet right here. Mine is Holly. It's one of the older, like, OG loot pets, but it's Christmas themed. It's like this little female elf. Has this little Christmas pig on a leash. It's kind of cute. And your loot pets, there is a cash shop item that goes on sale every now and then. Typically, you'll find them around Christmas or around like a major holiday. They'll bundle them with a loot pet, and it's called a Pet Evolution Stone. If you use it on your loot pet, then it will actually increase the max weight that you can carry, and it will also make your loot pet loot in a greater range. So it just makes it more useful. And then, of course, all the buffs, which usually I don't have Hidden Village right now. I need to get it again. But you get it free when you start. You can use it for, a week or something like that for free. And when you go in, you can get all the buffs for just like a few thousand gold. And they will increase like all your stats, including your strength. And then once you get higher level, you can pay some of the other higher level players to be able to give you buffs better than what the Hidden Village does. Like 4 or 5 times better than what the Hidden Village does. That will just like massively increase your stats. But they will charge you like a good billion rupees like every time they have to buff you. There's actually a strategy where you have to have Hidden Village the entire time, because there's a merchant that sells a scroll that will allow you to refresh your buffs. So effectively you pay someone once to buff you, and then you buy a bunch of these items called the God Fairy Mother Bottles, which if you die allows you to respawn. It gives you all the EXP back that you lost, but also gives you back all the buffs that you lost. And then you can just refresh using the refresh skull so that your buffs never run out. And you can also reapply them to your pets if you ever have to recall them or they die, or if you die and have to resummon them. But yeah, so answer your question. Buffs, anything that increases your strength through any means, as well as the Pet Evolution Stone on your loot pet. Has to be on a permanent loot pet, cannot be on one of the timed loot pets, as well as getting a better bag. Oh, and I also have this Expert's bag right here. There's a quest line that you can do called the Arena Quest. There is a guide to it online, but basically you do the Arena Quest every single day and you get Arena points, and once you save up enough points, you can buy this bag, and this bag will give you an extra 6,000 max weight, but it'll also give you 4% extra to all of your base abilities, including strength, which will also increase your max weight, so it stacks on itself. If you have the Hidden Village Pass, it will take you 20 days of doing the quest line to get it. If you don't have the Hidden Village, then you get half of the points from doing each quest. It'll take you 40 days of doing the quest line to be able to do it. Yes and no. So time is the biggest factor. Technically, you can get everything in this game for free without having to spend a penny, and without having to, yeah, you can get everything in this game for free if you are incredibly patient and you don't mind taking years of grinding the lower level stuff, eventually save up the money. And honestly, as newer stuff gets released, all the older stuff becomes less viable to people, so stuff will become cheaper. Like back when this Pixie released, you could easily be paying, I mean, like 20, 30, 40, 50 bill for like a level 1 stage 0 Pixie. I got this Pixie level 190 stage 5 for like what, 60, 70 bill? Um, because it's now a less desired pet thanks to the, especially Hector, which is a tier above it, coming out and now being considered one of like the best pet in the game that all the people that have like trillions upon trillions of in-game rupees want to buy and stage and have the best of the best. But the game is very grindy. The game is a massive grind fest. It'll take you a while. Now, I will say that back years ago, they basically did adjust the game so that the earlier game is a lot easier than it used to be, but the later game is a lot harder than it used to be. Yeah, back when I first started out in like Epic 3, I believe is what it was, you could not go into a dungeon with, I mean, you would not go into a dungeon with less than like 4 or 5 people that were really good at playing their class, that had all of the potions ready, the buffs ready, to go farm some monsters in the dungeon. Usually you'd have a full party of 8 people. Now any player can go solo by themselves with the same or even slightly under-leveled pet with no gears on that pet, and they can go solo these dungeons and they can level up pretty quick. So they made it easier to be able to level up and get into the hundreds, but I would say by the time that you are almost finished with the first witch quest and you're around like level 90, and you need to kill the ultimate witch before you're finished with the first part of like a 3-part witch quest, they've made that harder so that you are not supposed to be able to solo that. If you are a new player by yourself, you need to get a higher level to tank it and kill it for you. It is unreasonable to think that you'll do it by yourself. But one of the reasons they did this is because you can have like 7 or like 8, either 7 or 8 tunes on a server. So a lot of the players, especially back years ago, they had beaten everything. They were max level, their pets were max level, they had all the max level gears and enchantments, there was nothing else they could possibly do. So what do? They take their max level pet, they put it onto a new level tune, and they get that tune to max level in like no time at all. And then they make like 7 or 8 characters doing this because they had no other content to play. So in response to this, well, it became hard for all the players who basically weren't alts of higher level players with higher level characters to be able to play the game, because they would go in with their high level pets, they would destroy the dungeons and the monsters, and they would only allow other people with high level pets to be able to join the parties, and other players that were solo players didn't have a group of friends, couldn't go in and actually do anything, so they had to rebalance it a little bit. And yeah, there's definitely a nostalgic factor. I definitely think that as you get higher level, there is more that you're able to do. So, I mean, yeah, I think the game gets better. But one of my favorite aspects about the game is the PvP aspect of it. There are 2 PvP servers and 2 PvE servers. Basically, PvP is not exclusive to the highest levels, but you'll typically find that the highest level players in the highest level dungeons are the ones that are constantly engaging in PvP and killing each other and fighting for the monsters for the best drops, because they can already kill everything, so now they're just going after each other because, you know, they need something else to do. There are still people who will go out and PK people who are like low level trying to level up and do stuff like that. It's not as bad as it used to be. Back in the day, it was actually really funny. You would have like these mid-level players that would go and they would start killing all the low-level players that were trying to quest out in the field, and then people would type in chat, hey, this person's PKing everyone, come help, and then all the bored higher-level players would come and they would just like look at the PKer, and then they would die because they were mid-level, so then they would log on to their main, which is a high level, and start killing the people that tried to kill them, and then they would sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a moment. And then they would log on to their higher level characters, and it just became, hey, who has the highest level character? Who has the most enchanted gear? And then it just becomes, hey, who can get their ability off one first to one-shot the other person? And it just became full clown car, and it was actually pretty funny. Still happens sometimes, but it's not as often. But yeah, between farming for stuff that you can either sell, or being able to farm for stuff you can craft, or whether you're just looking for deals and you're buying stuff cheap and selling higher and doing some merchanting in the flea market and the auction house. There's a lot of stuff that you can do. It used to be fun to go out and taming, like mass taming sprees, and then I would tame like a bunch of like a certain pet, and then I would stage all of them, get them to like level 5, and then sell them for money. I actually got rid of all of my taming gears to give it away a while back to one of my friends who used to play. So I need to get all my taming stuff back in order before I go and try to start doing that, because that's a very expensive endeavor, especially with how low taming rates are, especially on the more higher level, well, higher tier pets that are worth money. But they do regular events, like right now there's, it's like a taming and buff event. If you tame anything or kill like a really high level monster, everyone on the server gets like a special buff for like 30 minutes. It gives plus 20% to like all their basic stats. There'll be, right now there's like a skill card enhancement event going on also, plus 10% chance to successfully enhance your skill cards at like all levels. Here in like another week or two, there's going to be one for enhancing your equipment to make it easier to enhance your equipment. Of course, they have like the major ones like the Christmas update and like the Halloween stuff, where you have like special Christmas and Halloween dungeons you can go farm for like deco equipment in, and stuff like that. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Right now, I'm kind of just chilling. I'm not really doing too terribly much. I'm actually waiting for the next CS sale. CS sales, well, they go by UTC. I'm based in the U.S. I'm based in Central Time Zone, so for me it's like every Monday or Tuesday, late Monday night, early Tuesday, the new sales go on, and I'm waiting for them to do the enhancing stuff. So they'll put like all the E-Pros and stuff in the cash shop, and on top of that I'll get like one of the bundles for like 30 days of the Hidden Village for like all my characters. And I have this other person who has seen me and who has decided to start running around with me. Let's see if I can get them to go in circles. Yeah, by the way, when you just type in chat and you don't put like any characters in front of it, it just goes above your head and only people who are within a certain distance of you can see it. If you put exclamation mark, then it'll go to whole chat and like everyone can see it. And then for the other stuff, you can just like go to party or guild. I'm not in a guild, so no one's gonna see it. That'll just be my private messages. But yeah, they're just telling me 5 bill, and I'm like, 5 billion for what? I mean, I'd also like 5 bill. Oh, they see my title. My title is billionaire, which gives me more rupees when I trade in lac for rupees at the lac merchant. Which I kind of briefly mentioned titles before in my like Training Island video, but yeah. Every time I trade in lac to a lac trader for in-game rupees, I get an additional 50 rupees for every individual lac that I trade in. And I have a maximum storage of 90,000. Yeah, 90,000 lac, which mine is a level 10 plus 8 stone. They can go up to like level 10 plus 10. So I could get up to like 100,000 lac at a time, and then trade it in for money. And then when you trade it into the lac trader in the hidden village, you get even more money than you would in a non-hidden village. Yeah, the game is fun of a bunch of full characters. There's a lot of people who will just come and spam and be like, "Hey, I'm new. Please give me pet. Please give me pet. Please give me money. Please give me money." And you know, here's the thing: when I see someone who's like actually new, who's just like out doing their thing, like if I'm out like questing or farming or I'm making an alt on like Training Island, and I see someone who's actually just doing stuff, a lot of the time I'll just go into like my warehouse, because like my warehouse is actually full right now, of like a bunch of crap. I have 998 slots out of 1,000 slots in my warehouse full, um, of just like a bunch of random stuff. So I really don't mind giving out like some of my extra pets or extra like lower level equipment and stuff that I know I'm literally never going to use, that I haven't used in like a decade, and it's just sitting there because I don't know, don't really have any need for it. But when people come up and just ask you for like free stuff, and they're like, "Hey, give me money, give me money, give me pets, give me pets," um, I don't know, something about that just like puts me off, and I'm like, yeah, no, like, just no, play the game. Oh yeah, sorry. Back to the title. That's my actions. So on this title, every title will show you the required feat, how you get it. You have to collect 1 billion rupees in your inventory at a time in order to get the billionaire title. There is also the millionaire title, which, let me find it. Yeah, there's the millionaire title, which requires that you have 100 million rupees in your inventory at a time, and you get 25 additional rupees per lac when exchanging lac for rupees. So you start out by getting the millionaire first when you get 100 million, and then you get the billionaire when you get a billion. Now, both of these cannot be subtitles. They're only main titles, which means you can only use one and not the other, meaning I can't put the billionaire here, put the millionaire here, and stack them like that. Unfortunately, there are some titles where it's like you can only use one or the other as your main title. Now, these right here, though, are all ones that can be used as subtitles. And, that... Yeah, now this other character, Bang, said the same thing. They probably just logged to a different character. Um, there's also people who program bots to go around and like spam trying to get free stuff. Um, anyways, as I was saying, with these, I can have up to like 5 subtitles, and I'm using these as subtitles. These increase my luck, which luck increases your drop rate and also your critical, your chance to get a critical, your critical rate, but not your critical damage. Um, and these you get by combining items in the game called Essences of Power. Like every monster you ever kill is going to give you an Essence of Power, and it requires 10 essences of power to make one concentrated power, and 10 concentrated powers to make an extreme power. And then extreme powers are used in crafting all kinds of stuff, higher level potions and skill cards, as well as some of the higher level deco gear and stuff like that. You need like millions of them. Um, yeah, well, I mean, it's really good, especially when you're going to go farming. I mean, other stats could be nice too for like in general, but I don't know. I like luck because I typically go out and farm. My class, the Master Breeder, is not really good for PvP. It really focuses on the PvE element, being able to go in to a dungeon and just solo it and collect all the drops from it. And as I am, ooh, sorry. So I actually like to collect rare things. Um, and one of the things I have, oh cool, Flealac, is this cloak, which when it transferred servers from Gala to Webzen, there was an event where you could potentially get this deco cloak. It was the only way to ever get it. And I was lucky enough to be able to farm enough to get enough of the drops I needed. This person is selling a special looter from that time, a loot pet from that time. And I'm like, these things are hard to come by. I want to see what this thing even looks like summoned. I haven't seen it in years. Is that the... My pet's in the way. And it has this little flag it's carrying that has the W on it. Actually looks kind of cool. Yeah, so that is like an incredibly rare deco pet, if y'all ever wanted to see it. That was, I don't even know how people got that one, because I played during the time of that server transfer, and I didn't know about it until, like, years later, and they're like, hey, it's impossible to get this thing anymore. Yeah, Master Breeder is a very good class, especially for beginners, people who are starting. It's a pretty easy class, because you can just allow your pets to basically play the game for you. Like me personally, I don't even have to do anything. All of my passives and all of my equipment and everything make them be incredibly strong and make them have the highest damage in the game. They go out and they do everything while I sit behind and collect the loot. Now, I do have skills and abilities that I can use to do a little bit of damage, do a little bit of healing and stuff like that. But the problem is that my damage is so minuscule compared to theirs that it's not even worth me using it. And I have like creature healing skills that are nice, but my ethereal pixie gets way better healing skills that have honestly not that long cooldowns. I have like 5 healing skills. I haven't put any of my skills on on my toolbar yet, but they range from like a 20-second cooldown to like a 2-minute cooldown. And like 2 or 3 of those actually will heal every single member in your party. So it's like, honestly, my pets make me kind of be worthless. It's like they're having it. I'm not carrying them. They're carrying me. But it is kind of cool, kind of fun class. And breeders, master breeders, were always known for being some of the richest players in the game. At least back in the day, because they had the highest level taming, so they could tame stuff better than everyone else, and they had better pets, so they were able to easier go in and kill higher level stuff for better drops. Now, any class can get max level taming. It doesn't have to be a pet class, so they kind of gave the middle finger to the breeders in that way. But it's still easier for a master breeder with good pets to go in and solo a dungeon and kill high level bosses than it is for other players. Other players are going to really have to have like max level gear and stuff to be able to get the same effect that I can do with good pets with like okay gears that are not min-maxed. For your equipment, let me show you this real quick. Like I have a plus 17 level 10 one-handed staff. And you're like, yeah, it looks like it has some pretty decent stats on it and stuff. But like the max level of this gear is like level 40, and the max enchantment's like plus 25. And you can see all my stuff is like plus 9 level 10. This is level 1 plus 0. Level 10 22, level 1 25, 1 plus 25. And if you look at what I have on my pets, like plus 8 level 10, plus 8 level 10, plus 12 level 10. And honestly, that's not even good armor. That's for a lot lower level of a character. I actually need to get a different one put on there for it to even be decent. But because of all my passive stats, where I'm just making, hey, I'm going to give you a ton of health, and that health is also going to give you, you know, physical attack, and I'm going to give you a ton of mana so that you can use all your abilities and, you know, not run out of mana, and that's going to give you a whole bunch of magic damage on top of that, and I'm going to give you a whole bunch of crit rate, and I'm going to give you all this stuff passively. It's like, I've already done my job. It's not often that I play the game in first-person mode. I usually like to just keep it scrolled out, but sometimes it's cool to zoom into first person and actually see the details on this stuff. And you can see that that right there is the sun rabbit. That is another loot pet that you can get from the cash shop. It's been in the game for a while. Oh, and just in case anyone's curious, when you see a shop, you'll see the person's name who's owning that shop. That's the name of the character. You'll have the name of the shop, and it'll show buying or selling. Blue is selling, yellow/gold is going to be buying. When that person is in a guild, it also shows that guild name with their guild logo, the icon that they uploaded, above their name. So that's why that has that extra little text there. And this is just like a random thing that's kind of just like here. It's like a sword stuck on the ground, or a pole or something stuck on the ground. You can see how the shops are a little bit more detailed when you're in first person. You can see how they have like the swords, the gloves, the shields, and everything, and it looks like they actually have a stand. I thought Ymir needed to be at first, not Pixie. Oh, you're talking about my crystal golem. Okay, so with Master Breeder, you have, let's open up our skills real quick. You have the two most important skills on Master Breeder are going to be your Law of Exchange and going to be your Potency. Now, I will warn you that this game is Korean. It's an old game. All of the text in the game is transferred from Korean to English. Not all of the translations are perfect. That means that some of the skills and abilities will have descriptions that don't really quite accurately reflect what they actually do. Annoyingly, Law of Exchange and Potency are going to fall in that category. Now, what this reads is that the P attack of creatures is increased by their max HP, and the M attack of creatures is increased by their max MP. What this actually does is it takes the max HP and MP of your primary creature, which for me is my Pixie, and it applies that rate that it shows on there, that ratio, which from Law of Exchange I have like 12 and 8, and from Potency it's like up to 16.5 and 10.97. But it basically applies that ratio based off of the first pet stats to both of your pets. Now, what this means is that by having my Pixie first, my Pixie has a ton of max mana, which means that both the Pixie and the tank are going to get a bunch of intelligence, which increases their magic damage. Now, if you remember, I was telling you about this passive over here for the Peridot Pain. What this does is it is based off of your magic damage. So, incoming attacks have a chance to inflict the attacker with a bleed for 10 seconds. And the higher the level, the higher the chance of bleed. So right now it has an 82% chance. So every time that my tank gets attacked, there is an 82% chance Peridot Pain is going to kick in and is going to deal damage over 10 seconds. Every single second, my damage currently deals 1,309,710 damage. So multiply that by 10 and you get how much it goes for the entire 10 seconds. Now, the more magic attack I have on this tank, the higher that damage is going to be. Now, mine is only the the 1,309,710. I've seen people who have gotten upwards of like 2 to 300 million damage per tick. That's not per 10 seconds. That is every second for 10 seconds. 200 million damage every second. Now, the idea is that this tank is going to be incredibly beefy, is going to be buffed up so that nothing can even, like, scratch it. And just from this passive alone, they are going to die. Now, let's put this in reverse. Let's say that I had my tank, my crystal golem, as my primary pet, and my secondary pet was my pixie. Now, my golem doesn't have the most MP, especially not as much as my pixie does, but he has way more HP. HP gives physical attack, so he would get a lot more physical attack, and my pixie would give a lot of physical attack. However, my pixie is a magical attack creature. It does not need physical attack, which means that the physical attack would effectively be wasted on it. And it also means that the Peridot Pain passive on my Crystal Golem would be a whole lot less than it currently is. So if I were running maybe a physical damage creature on it instead of an Ethereal Pixie, it might make more sense. But because the Pixie's damage stacks well with that passive on the Golem, and you effectively want to max it out as much as you possibly can, that is why the Pixie is in the first slot instead of the second slot. Now, what this will do is it is going to make your Pixie a lot squishier. It's going to make it easier to kill than if it were in the secondary slot and had those extra, had that extra health. That is why we purchased two skills in particular. That is going to be the, here we go, Shadow Illusion. Gives minus 125% of threat, which means that monsters are less likely to target your pixie over you or anything else in the vicinity because your pixie is actively decreasing its threat. Meanwhile, your crystal golem right here has 125% increased threat. So as long as the threat that your golem has is a higher value than the threat that your pixie has, they are going to target your golem and not your pixie. And that is what we're going for here. They're going to target my tank, they're going to leave my pixie alone, meaning it's okay that my pixie doesn't have really good tanky stats. It's really squishy, because it's not going to be getting attacked to begin with anyway. And then the damage stacks well with the crystal golem. Now, that is on Master Breeder. That's why the Ethereal Pixie and Crystal Golem is definitely considered one of the strongest, if not the strongest combination used with the Pixie first and the Crystal Golem second on a Master Breeder, simply because of your potency and law of exchange. For a Overlord or from a Beastmaster, you would be using different pets that would stack with that class's skills better than these two would. Now, I haven't played those other two classes, so I'm not going to try and teach anyone anything about those because, yeah, I don't really know much. But I am thinking about making a Beastmaster because they are pretty cool. They can actually transform into pets that are in their formation, and then they have a skill that can make them go like really big, so like sometimes Beastmasters will come into the flea market and all of a sudden you'll see there's like a giant crystal golem or there's a giant death tyrant or there's like some kind of giant monster like taking over the entirety of the flea market because the Beastmaster got bored. But yeah, but that's just why on me and why on a Master Breeder. This is more of the recommended build that most people do. Of course, when you can't afford this build, you can use some cheaper pets to get the same effect, but this is what you want to work up towards. You want to work up towards getting your Pixie and your Crystal Golem. You want to get both of them stage 5. You want to level up as much as you can. You want to get them leveled up as much as you can. You want to work on getting them armor. On the Golem, you're going to be getting a shield. On the Pixie, you're going to be getting a Mage Wall, which is basically a shield for damage dealers that gives more offensive stats instead of defensive stats. You're going to be using weapons. You're going to put the belts on them that increase their skills. I'm sorry, 1 minute. But yeah. Anyways, unfortunately, I do have to go. But yeah, I did. I really just wanted to start this video over being here's how you spec your pets, here's how you respec them, and kind of went off on a tangent on a bunch of random stuff. But I am glad that we did get to have a conversation. I got to answer some of your questions. Um, I do like to try and make at least one video every like, few days, 3 days, 4 days, something like that. They will cycle off of my Twitch, but my YouTube is in my description. I upload my videos on YouTube where they stay permanently because Twitch likes to delete them after like 7 or 14 days or something like that. Again, I don't think there's a way to private message on Twitch. If there is, I don't know about it because I'm new to Twitch. But I know that you can comment on videos on YouTube. Please check out my YouTube, comment on my videos, ask questions, things that you want me to explain better, anything that you have. And I will go back and I will actively try to answer those as best I can to help everyone out. If this is kind of just like a passion project I kind of just started, kind of new to streaming and everything. If if it does grow enough, maybe I'll make like a Twitter. Maybe I'll make something like that where it's kind of like easier to get a hold of me and, message me and stuff like that. Discord server probably. But we'll see where it goes. Anyways, that is all I have for today. Unfortunately, I just found out that I now have something I have to get taken care of. So I will try to stream again in the next couple days and make myself available to hopefully pass on some more information, maybe something of any entertainment value. But thank you for being here with me. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. And hope you all have a great rest of your day. Hope you have a great rest of your night, whatever time it is for you.